Hello, Mike Lawrence here. I'd like to talk with you a little bit about a wonderful training aid that we use in the R3 approach. It's the R3 approach release board. The only training aid really on the market that's backed up by a comprehensive and viable game development program. We use the release board throughout the R3 approach with many different drills demonstrating different positions and movements that we want to be making in the golf swing. Just to begin with, the release board has a weight in it, which will give us a little bit of audible feedback as we get into different positions and movements in the swing that we want to be developing. The first thing is that knowing that there is a difference between the mechanics of a swing and the physical process that supports those mechanics is pretty important. The golf club is a tool, therefore as golfers we want to be using that tool in a manner close to the way in which it was designed to be used. So quite often folks have a hard time understanding or feeling where the golf club needs to be in various parts of the swing in order to produce a solid golf shot. Well, the release board is designed in such a manner that the board itself functions as the head or the face of the golf club. So we begin to understand what the terms square, open, and closed are and how they will affect the golf shot. We use it quite effectively in the ready, set, go drill that we have in the R3 approach. What we have folks do is understand that when we hit a golf shot, we'll get into an A-frame position, establish our grip, aim, and setup. In this case, with the board, we'll have the board down in front of us just as we would our golf club. And then when we make the backswing, when we go to the set position, what's going to happen is that we'll go ahead and initiate our first pivot by turning our shoulders, and the board will set at the top of the swing. And at this point in the swing, we can hear the weight load, indicating that we've reached the top of our swing and established the angle in the swing. Having that audible feedback is very helpful in terms of understanding at what point in the swing we are going to begin to transition into our downswing. Also, what's very helpful for folks is to understand as we make that backswing movement to the top of the swing or the set position, the board helps us to understand what square means. In other words, there's quite often folks will take the club back and have the club face in a closed position or a substantially open position. Well, with the use of the board, it's more helpful to understand exactly what square at the top is, and with the words on plane on the board, again, it's a good, very helpful illustration of what being on plane at the top of our swing is. And then on the downswing, when we initiate our go move from the top of the swing, we'll bring the angle back in front of us, and we don't want to hear the weight release early, like so. If so, we've cast the angle out. So the release board, again, with the use of the weight, helps us to understand what creating lag in the swing is all about. And then when we get into the 9 o'clock to 3 o'clock impact zone, we'll hear that weight actually release. And we'll also get the feedback from the board in terms of the board turning over, changing colors, and we now see the word released. So in terms of the ready, set, go drill, it works like this. We'll get into a ready position, top of our swing set position, then we'll make the go move. We'll begin to hear that weight release at the right time at the bottom of the swing through impact. So it's very helpful for folks, both from the audible standpoint of hearing that weight and the visible standpoint of seeing the different colors of the board as it turns over. From a downline view, get in a ready position, go to the set point in the swing, release down and through, hearing that weight release at the bottom, indicating to us that we're releasing in the right spot. From an upline view, ready position, set at the top of the swing, we'll bring the angle down without releasing it or casting it early. We'll get that weight popping at the right time during the swing, right through the impact area. Can't say enough about the release board in terms of helping a person to understand what the mechanics of their swing is all about. Again, we use it with many different kinds of drills. Some of them you'll see here on the website. And then again, throughout the R3 approach, the board is a very effective tool to help us understand a little better the differences between mechanics and physical processes in the swing. And then again, in the R3 approach, we stress the fact that if we're going to play our best golf, we have to get off the what axis get over onto the how axis. Try our best not to think about all these things that we're working on, and then play golf when it's time to play golf.